Superman, the iconic superhero from the planet Krypton, has long been known for his incredible powers. However, there is one substance that poses a unique threat to him, kryptonite. Although, one can question whether kryptonite is truly dangerous or just a placebo. This report aims to shed light on this new perspective. Superman, the iconic superhero from the planet Krypton, has long been known for his incredible powers and unwavering dedication to justice. However, there is one substance that poses a unique threat to him: kryptonite. This mineral, typically depicted as a glowing green rock, has the power to weaken and even harm Superman. Over the years, Superman comics have used kryptonite as the go-to means for non-superpowered beings, such as ordinary humans, to stand any chance of defeating the Kryptonians. However, upon watching many adaptations of Superman, an interesting question arises. Is kryptonite truly a dangerous substance, or is it merely a nocebo? This report aims to shed light on this new perspective, examining the depictions of Superman and the effects of kryptonite in various sources, while considering whether its potential harm is attributable to psychological factors rather than its physical properties. There are two hypotheses regarding the effects of kryptonite on Superman. Hypothesis 1 suggests that kryptonite is a dangerous substance that has the potential to harm and even kill him. On the other hand, Hypothesis 2 proposes that when Superman comes into contact with kryptonite, he experiences a nocebo effect. Since he has never been seriously harmed before, he mistakes minor radiation for a major threat, and thus a negative psychological response is triggered due to a lack of a real reference point for serious harm to himself. Many psychology students first learn about the placebo effect, which is when the belief in benefits derived from a practice leads to actual benefits. In contrast, the nocebo effect is the opposite, where a certain stimulus can cause harm solely based on the belief that it can cause harm. In 2006, a study was conducted to test whether people who report being sensitive to mobile phone signals have more symptoms when exposed to a pulsing mobile signal than when exposed to a sham signal or a non-pulsing signal. However, this study concluded no evidence was found to indicate that people with self-reported sensitivity to mobile phone signals are able to detect such signals, or that they react to them with increased symptom severity. As sham exposure was sufficient to trigger severe symptoms in some participants, psychological factors may have an important role in causing this condition. In simple terms, individuals reported that Wi-Fi signals caused them significant harm. To test if this was a real phenomenon, they were shown a device indicating the presence of a signal. However, these individuals could not determine whether the signal was on or off based on their symptoms. They even experienced symptoms when no signal was actually present. YouTuber CGP Grey explores the nocebo effect further on his channel. If readers of this report are interested, a link will be provided. However, the nocebo effect is solely based on the perception of the subject. Therefore, if any damage caused by kryptonite is purely physical or clearly unexpected and cannot be attributed to mental factors, it would serve as conclusive proof that kryptonite is not a nocebo. It is important to consider whether the observed discomfort, pain, and sickness experienced by Superman when exposed to kryptonite are solely psychological in nature, or if they can manifest as physical symptoms. This report will delve into three major pieces of Superman media: the DC animated universe, Smallville, and Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. In Season 1, Episode 6 of Justice League Unlimited, there is a significant plot point involving Supergirl. During the course of the episode, Supergirl has vivid dreams which include her being shot by kryptonite and getting cut, resulting in a small red scar. These dreams, as it is later revealed, are actually psychic memories of Galatea, a clone of Supergirl. This means that the dreams are not the product of Supergirl's imagination, but actual memories of Galatea, who has Kryptonian biology and would therefore normally be bulletproof. Interestingly, it is explained in the same episode that the doctors at Star Labs had to use a kryptonite-pointed surgeon bot to perform an operation on Supergirl while she was unconscious from Superman's attack. It is important to mention that the concept of a nocebo effect, which refers to the negative effects caused by the expectation of harm, does not apply in this particular scenario. Firstly, a nocebo effect cannot occur in an unconscious patient. Additionally, even if it could, the act of cutting skin could not be triggered by such an effect. Therefore, in the DC animated universe, kryptonite is not considered a nocebo. In the television series Smallville, there is an instance in Season 3, Episode 3 where Superman gets shot by a kryptonite bullet and is seriously injured. It is important to note that Superman is typically known for being bulletproof. For this situation to be considered a placebo effect, Superman would need to mentally deactivate his invulnerability. However, he appears confident and believes he is bulletproof until he realizes that it is kryptonite after being hit. Since Superman shows no conscious or unconscious awareness of kryptonite until after it pierces him, and his invulnerability has not been shown to have a mental on-off switch, the green kryptonite in Smallville is likely to have a non-placebo effect on him. Blue kryptonite. In Season 7, Episode 10, Bizarro, the evil twin of Superman, is destroyed by exposure to blue kryptonite. Bizarro, like Superman, is affected by various substances, but in the opposite way. Blue kryptonite, which removes Superman's powers, actually increases Bizarro's powers to infinite levels. This is comparable to using an entire nuclear power plant to power a single light bulb. Bizarro's own increasing power caused him to be destroyed in a massive blast. This cannot be attributed to any nocebo effect. Since Bizarro is confirmed to be affected by everything in the opposite way of Superman, the effects on Superman must be equal and opposite, which means blue kryptonite removes his powers rather than causing a nocebo effect. Throughout this investigation, various types of kryptonite and their effects in the series Smallville were studied. Black kryptonite is proven to be real as it creates actual copies of the affected person. Even if Superman has self-cloning abilities, in Season 4, Episode 17, it clones Lex Luthor, a normal human. Red kryptonite. Red kryptonite is said to remove Superman's inhibitions. Although red kryptonite is prominently featured in the show, its psychological effects make it difficult to differentiate from the nocebo effect. Therefore, this report cannot reach a definitive conclusion. Gemstone kryptonite grants Superman the power to mesmerize others. It is possible that he possessed this power but never utilized it. However, the appearance of this type of kryptonite is too brief to make a conclusive report. It seemingly only appears in one episode. Gold kryptonite. Exposure to gold kryptonite is rumored to permanently strip Superman of his powers. In the continuity known as the Arrowverse, in Batwoman Season 1 Episode 9 Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2, the same actor who portrays Smallville's Superman appears and reveals that he used gold kryptonite to remove his powers. However, it is unclear whether this is within the same continuity or if the actor's appearance is simply a fun cameo. Therefore, this report cannot definitively conclude the status of gold kryptonite. During the investigation into the effects of kryptonite on Superman, an analysis was conducted on the fight between Batman and Superman in the movie Batman v Superman. According to researcher Matt Pat from the YouTube channel Film Theory, in the Snyderverse, Superman is estimated to be 406 times stronger than a human at baseline. In the fight scene, Batman successfully cuts Superman's skin using a kryptonite spear. It is known that full-thickness skin strips of a human have a median tensile strength of 604 newtons per centimeter. By multiplying this value by 406 and converting it to pounds per square inch, we get 245,224 newtons per square centimeter, which is equivalent to 355,667.34197 pounds per square inch. For comparison, the .22 long rifle is specified to have a pressure of about 25,000 psi. while it is normal for a modern rifle cartridge to reach pressures of 60,000 psi or more. Considering Superman's estimated strength, the force required to cut this scar depends on the length of the scar. The area of the scar can be calculated using pixel measurements. Divide the scar into 3 component parts and measure their lengths: 49.64 pixels, 24.41 pixels, and 49.78 pixels. The total length is 123.52 pixels. These measurements can be cross-referenced with the measured length of his eye, 94.11 pixels. Another picture of Henry Cavill's Superman can be used. Henry Cavill's eye length in inches can be calculated by dividing the length of his eye in pixels, 10 pixels, by the total height of Henry Cavill in pixels, 451 pixels, and then multiplying the result by the actual height of Henry Cavill in inches, 73 inches. The calculation is as follows. Eye length in inches equals eye length in pixels divided by total height in pixels times actual height in inches equals 10 pixels / 451 pixels times 73 inches equals 1.6 inches. To find the number of pixels in 1 inch in the scar picture, use the ratio between the measured length of Henry Cavill's eye in inches and the measured length of his eye in pixels. Pixels per inch equals eye length in pixels divided by eye length in inches equals 94.11 pixels divided by 1.6 inches approximately equals 58.12 pixels per inch. Therefore, in the scar picture, 1 inch is approximately equal to 58.12 pixels. The scar length was 123.52 pixels, amounting to 2.12 inches long, but 1 pixel wide, which is 0.017 inches wide. The area of the cut would therefore total 0.037 square inches, 355,667.34197 psi times 0.036 inches equals 12,804. It is calculated that the force exerted by Batman's cut is approximately 12,804 pounds. According to an article by New Scientist, the average man often struggles to lift 45 kilograms, about 100 pounds. However, MatPat's analysis suggests that Batman's robot arms, as shown in the movie, would enable him to lift 1,000 times more than usual. By multiplying this weight by 1,000, we get 45,000 kilograms, which is equal to 99,208.02 pounds. With this increased strength, it is theoretically possible for Batman to cut Superman without kryptonite. In fact, if Batman can exert 100 pounds of force downward under normal circumstances, his mech suit would only need to multiply his strength by 128. After carefully examining various sources and considering the effects of kryptonite on Superman, it becomes clear that the question of whether kryptonite is merely a placebo or a genuinely dangerous substance is complex and dependent on the continuity. In the DC animated universe and Smallville, kryptonite has clearly dangerous effects that cannot be attributed to the nocebo effect. The analysis of different types of kryptonite, such as green kryptonite, blue kryptonite, and black kryptonite, reveals that their effects on Superman cannot be dismissed as purely psychological. In particular, the ability of green kryptonite to harm Superman, as well as the nullifying effects of blue kryptonite, indicate that there are physical properties of kryptonite that directly affect Superman's powers and well-being. Additionally, the existence of black kryptonite and its ability to create clones further supports the conclusion that kryptonite has tangible effects beyond psychological perception. However, it is important to note that some forms of kryptonite, such as red kryptonite, may have more psychological effects on Superman, making it difficult to definitively conclude the extent of the psychological factors at play. However, in the Snyderverse, it is entirely possible that kryptonite is a nocebo. In conclusion, while the psychological factors of the nocebo effect may influence Superman's vulnerability to kryptonite in certain instances, the evidence suggests that in most continuities, kryptonite is not merely a placebo. It possesses physical properties that can harm and weaken Superman, making it a genuine threat to his well-being.